welcome back to the channel. It'll be Disco coming at you with part 2 of a video from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I'm still very much calling the Disco Arms. Part 1, where we looked at some beers from a brewery called Nirvana, including this one. Very nice Helles lager. Nicely smashable. And looked at a couple that I recorded way back last October for Stoptober, which I wasn't actually doing. And now we're in January, and I'm not doing dry January either, but I'm still looking at 0% beers. Got another one to do for this video because I got a big box of these in from Nirvana. I looked at them, and these are the last one left over. This one is a 0.5% India Pale Ale. So I'm going to crack this into a glass and then cross over to Past Disco up at Horse and Farm at Perivale Brewery to check out the other two in the box. $500ml bottle, this one. I'm not quite sure why the bottle sizes vary. They also do, as we'll see, 330ml cans. But what I've seen so far, I could quite happily have 500ml bottles of these. I'm not so sure about this one, so having poured it out, I'm going to cross over to Past Disco, see what it says about the other two, and do the review at the end.
Yeah, that's good. What was the next?
Let's go on to that best bitter. So share that one out.
Intrigued by this.
I was intrigued by the write-up when I saw it, which I imagine will be replicated on here. Nutty and satisfying, spicy and floral, complex finish. It says amber ale. Oh yes, it's Nirvana Best. It's an amber ale. I mean, best bitter amber ale. All get confused with the conversation, but I think it was that nuttiness and complex that kind of drew me to it.
Yeah. The only sort of those kind of beers I've had of non-alcoholic versions of is, I think I've had the Ghost Ship one and the I can't remember now. Yeah, that's the only one I remember is the Ghost Ship one, which is not too bad actually.
Well, yeah, you won't be surprised to hear that I don't really like Ghost Ship, and I've not tried the 0% version of it.
Yeah, but it wasn't a million miles away from the original.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, they're a much bigger brewery, so.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so another one pours pretty well in the glass. I mean,
Nice
I've given it a slightly vigorous pour on the head there, but
sticking around.
Reasonably see-through.
Yeah, it does definitely have a nutty aroma.
Yeah, there's some maltiness coming through. I always, again, overuse the term kind of breadiness. It was kind of brown bread kind of note, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah.
Cheers. I tell you what, again, I don't know, I shouldn't be surprised, but I always do sort of a slight surprise note when 0% beers end up being, oh, that's actually quite drinkable.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily sure all of them are like that, but certainly this is the third one that, I wouldn't be disappointed with that.
No, I really like it. Yeah, you feel like you're drinking a bitter. It's got sort of sweet aftertaste. The nuttiness definitely comes through on the aroma and the taste as well. Sort of lingers in your mouth.
Yeah,
which I think adds to it. Yeah, I'm not sure how they get that, but it's nice. It's a nice adds to the experience. It makes you feel like you. I think I always struggle with these. Yeah, I can imagine making a non-alcoholic version of something that's it's meant to have quite a lot of body to it, and they do a pretty good job of recreating that sort of mouthfeel of a proper ale.
For me, I'm not getting out and out nuttiness, but there's a certain slight tanniny woodiness sort of coming through. A bit like that oak berry okie dokie, that kind of rather than hoppiness is like that sort of tanniny, slightly bitterness on the back end kind of.
Yeah, it's pleasant business to me. Yeah, not bitter at all really, but just a nice kind of aftertaste.
Yeah. When I saw the bottle as well, I don't know about anybody else, but it reminds me of a beer from up in Lincolnshire called Harvest from Bateman's. Okay. It's a very similar, which I think is also a best bitter or an amber ale. It's just a very similar kind of label design. And it's reasonably similar to that in not necessarily body, but certainly in flavour. But I think you can still tell it's a lower alcohol. But again, there's not that spring water edge. There's a definite thickness to it without being massively thick. Slight, it's like marmalade kind of creeping in, and a kind of nice bready kind of malt background. And again, some nice lacing on the glass. It's in good condition.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, non-alcoholic beers are always going to be lacking in a bit of body, but they do a really good job of recreating the experience. I think.
Absolutely,
Drinking a proper beer, it doesn't taste watery at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that nice, pleasant sort of bit of aftertaste you get with a nice bitter.
Here's an interesting one. I'll read the notes on the side. The Amber Ale is a delicious alcohol-free answer to a traditional, quintessentially British ale. I think they get fairly close to that. Notes of biscuit, bready rather than biscuit, but yeah, fair enough. Maple syrup. Well, that's
I
the
can
kind
see
of
that. Yeah,
marmalade stuff maybe I'm saying about, but
yeah.
and toasted nuts balanced against earthy floral spice notes from the English hops. And the result, a complex yet refreshing bitterness with subtle caramel undertones, a homegrown classic. I can see all of those. I didn't necessarily go caramel, but that's that kind of
Yeah, I think.
bit of sweetness, stickiness coming through, a bit of marmalade kind of there.
Yeah, I think they're pretty spot on with the description actually.
Here's an
Pretty
interesting
good
one.
for that.
Looking at the ingredients, obviously all the usual suspects: water, barley, it is oats and wheat with hops, but also, and I don't know if this is worrying or not, sodium metabisulfite
Oh yeah.
and sodium benzoate, which I'm sure is in a lot of other sort of foods, but doesn't necessarily sound good to me. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think some people are quite against sulfites. You don't usually get them in beer, but I can see why they would use them in non-alcoholic beer because you need to stabilise it just to be absolutely certain there's no any re-fermentation in the glass.
So it's not a flavour thing. That's
like residual sugars in there.
That's
Yeah,
just a balance thing.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's used in wine, almost all wine, apart from natural wines.
Okay.
Yeah, all of us will have drank stuff with it in. They say it's meant to sort of just dissipate off, but also some people say that sulfites give them worse hangovers, and if they have wines or whatever without sulfites in, that it doesn't. So I don't know.
Does that apply on a 0% as well? I imagine
yeah.
not to be hangover inducing at all. But
well, yeah, we'll find out. I suppose. But,
smash 3 back, maybe 4.
but yeah, I know sulfites are something that's used in lots and lots of different drinks and foods, and without any. Yeah, in my opinion, not they're absolutely fine to use. Ciders as well, I think we use them.
Okay.
Kind of.
I hadn't even thought about that as a side note kind of thing, but that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it's to to keep it stable.
Okay, I thought it was going to be that kind of side bitter note, that kind of like slightly woody tanniness or something. But no, that's interesting. But I just smashed that last bit back, no problem. Like I say, the lace in that glass looks good. So
yeah, we're smashing through these.
Indeed. Well, I don't know, keep it to the 4, I guess. But let's go for the last one. This one's quite an interesting one.
Let me go back to that pale and see what
Oh, yeah. So, as I always like to go kind of up the scale from lights to darks, I thought it'd be good to go pale a bit and then finish on a Nitro Stout. Now,
interesting.
I can't recall any other 0% Nitro Stouts.
Well, apart from Guinness, yeah.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Smooth, obviously coffee, caramel.
Indulgent and satisfying. Well, again, that's slightly subjective, but we shall see.
Yeah.
Is there any pouring notes? We've got that benzoate and...
Pour hard, pour fast. Cool.
Okay.
0.5 again. So just on the...
We're going to be slightly over the top of the half glass if we do that. Have you got a pint glass there? Do you want to tip it all in the pint glass just for the...
Oh, yeah, true. You have to, in order to get the full pour.
Yeah. Go hard then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so it's not got a widget in like the...
No.
So it's already just got the nitrogen in there.
Yeah. So it's a little nitrogen pillow or something on top.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure on the start, but creamy-ish looking head development. They're quite big bubbles going on. But yeah, it looks like a fairly solid.
It's poured nice with a nice thick creamy head.
I'm expecting that head to dissipate, and I'm not sure it will, but
we'll see.
Definitely a bit of roastiness on the nose, isn't there?
Lots of roasted aromas, yeah. Do that.
And also, of course, we're pouring them into plastic. I wonder whether that has any effect whatsoever, but we're used to drinking out of plastic, so thick, chunky plastic like we have up here. So
we have to use the plastic.
Yeah.
Glasses up here because we're an outdoor venue, but I mean, these ones are good, proper polycarbonate ones.
Yeah, and I've been using festival and stuff as well.
Lacing on the glass.
Well, yeah, especially that last one. Yeah, it doesn't seem to affect it at all.
Hopefully.
So, well, Steven, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. It's been a nice experience.
We haven't got no G to split or anything like that. Split the beat.
Yeah. This is the hardest one to recreate.
Okay.
Experience of drinking a really full-bodied stout.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Or are you recreating?
Guinness is a bit easier because it's a bit lighter, isn't it? But
are you recreating a 0% Guinness?
Yeah.
So if it's I don't know, I've said this about some kind of nitro stouts, like they're recreating maybe a beer that is possibly not that good as it was previously. So it's a good replica of something that wasn't that great in the first place. Although there's a lot of nostalgia around Guinness, and Guinness gets a slightly free pass from me. But I'm sure it was stronger, thicker, and creamier back in the day. But for me, that's not a bad recreation of a 0% Guinness.
No, I'd say it's up there with that with that as a drink. It's I think all the flavours are there. I just feel like missing that sort of that body and mouthfeel that you get with a nice creamy stout.
I think compared.
This is the only one that I think is just tastes a little bit watery.
Yeah, no, there is that. But then I think that's what I say about recreating 0% Guinness, and I find that on 0% Guinness.
Yeah.
So it's kind of got that slight watery edge.
Most non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah, I always give deference to say spring water. So I say spring water because it's obviously got that slight quality rather than just regular water. But no, I think that's there. I think it is. I think it's got a soft enough body for that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely very very drinkable, very tasty, just like all the others.
I kind of want more, but maybe that's just me being a bit.
That's it. Well, I want a proper stout. So I just think it's not quite fulfilling the whole experience of drinking a good creamy stout. But at the same time, it's pretty up there and just as good as any others that I've had.
Yeah, what I'm trying to sort of get my head around is
being a bit picky.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at it from a customer perspective. So if you weren't, I don't know, if you were driving or not drinking for whatever reason, and you got served this by any of these, I guess, would you be satisfied that you've at least got a drink that, something you can drink and is easy drinking? And I think any of these would be, in the rare example that I'm, driving to an establishment or whatever, I think it is a fair recreation of a beer.
Yeah.
Whilst all fairly noticeably, obviously, no alcohol. It's getting that taste and flavour into it, and I think alcohol plays a big part of that in beers, isn't it?
It's still really nice. It's got those nice roasted flavours, bit of sweetness in there, bit of slight sort of caramel sort of mouthfeel.
I think there's definitely, but for me, it's a little bit almost too muted. There's definitely a bit of roastiness in there. Not really a lot of coffee, maybe a little bit more chocolate, perhaps. But I'm not slating the product at all. It's like it is drinkable. Yeah, I'm just kind of maybe looking for things to pick up on unnecessarily. But good one to finish on. A little bit lighter, maybe embodied than the others. But what would you say? I don't know. I don't normally rank beers or anything. I don't give numbers out of 10 or anything. But out of these four, what would you say is maybe your standout one or your favourite, or which way would you rank them?
I think it depends what kind of beer you're in the mood for.
For sure, yeah.
All of them do a good job of representing the style of beer they're trying to do. I think, and I would drink any of them as a replacement, as if I wasn't drinking the proper thing. I think. Yeah, I'm most impressed probably by the bitter.
Okay.
I just feel it's it's done a really good job of recreating the experience of drinking a nice bottled ale.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of nice, pleasant, bitter aftertaste. You really feel like you've had a nice, refreshing pint of bitter. I could imagine, as lots of my family drink that kind of thing. I can imagine, giving that to my dad or something, and him being quite pleased with it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, and I feel like it's probably quite a difficult style to get right.
Okay.
And they've done a great job, but they've done that with all of them. To be fair, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
I suppose the most difficult one is the stout. I think.
Okay.
They've done it. They've done a great job, but I think, just personally, the kind of stouts I like, I would prefer something with a bit more body. But it's really a thing that's really really hard.
Yeah,
to do in a non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic stouts is probably ones I've probably tried most of. and they all kind of hit that same kind of mark.
Yeah, you just know that you drink. You definitely know straight away that you're drinking a non-alcoholic version, and that's just the nature of it, isn't it? But, But still a nice drink. This one is delicious. Again, I'd say like it's lovely. If you'd just gone for a run or something like that, or it's a really boiling hot day, you could just neck one of those and really enjoy it. But it's kind of a bit cheating. It's kind of like having a shandy, really.
Yeah.
So it's.
If you ever see either of us going for a run,
well,
you can come and buy us a beer because your money will be safe. But
don't go for a run ever. But,
other people going for a run.
I don't know why I said run, but I don't know. If you've just been shifting kegs around.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a refreshing kind of note. Whatever exercise you're doing.
Or a bike ride.
Yeah,
and the pale was nice. Again, sort of. I enjoyed it more coming back to it later, but
yeah.
and I did straight away. But yeah, if you have to pick a winner, I'd say that one. The bitter.
Okay, yeah. I think.
Overall, I'm very impressed. They're great. I'm going to be trying more of their beers if I can.
Okay,
Definitely.
well, we've got more in the box there, but
Yeah.
no, that's a good roundup. I like that. It's I think it's slightly different lineup for me in terms of favourites, and I'm quite surprised that the Stout is possibly my least favourite because of that kind of you say hard to recreate and kind of slight watery edge. Still a good enough Stout there, I think, and then we go up. I think probably to the pale, because again, going back to it kind of made it better. But I'd put that in probably number 3. I think the number 2 for me is the best bitter because it was a good rounded kind of flavour and, like you say, a good recreation of the thing. But I think the favourite for me is the lemon, just because of the amount of flavour and body that come out of that to be a nice refreshing drink. I say it is quite sweet, but I'd probably happily bung a couple of those away kind of quite easily. So. But I think it's been a good, interesting look, and I'd say I'm slightly surprised that all of them are kind of hit marks for us. I think certainly a good look. Certainly a good look at. And we've got a couple of others in there. Maybe we'll do them again at some point after, or maybe get some more to have something to compare stuff to. But cool. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving your insights and letting us know what you think.
Thanks for letting me try all those beers. It was great.
Yeah, man.
Great experience, and should probably be having days like this more often. So it's good to know that there's really good options out there. That aren't the big mainstream ones. So these guys seem really interesting. Really cool.
I'm not saying you might see any of these on the bar at Perivale anytime soon, but it's a good research towards our own kind of possibilities.
Well, we're thinking about it, so we might order something in the meantime until we can manage to do our own versions.
Plenty of other stuff to do as well. So
because like you say, you do get more and more people asking for non-alcoholic. People want the experience of drinking a beer, but not necessarily without the effects. So.
Especially we get quite a few people driving because of where we are and the location and stuff like that. So. Well, there we go. Hope that was fun and interesting for you guys, and maybe you learned something as we did as well. Well, there we go. After that fairly comprehensive roundup, I think, from me and Mike there, of those Nirvana beers. Just this last one left, and I won't say I've saved the best till last. I mean, this is purely by accident. Just I kind of fancy doing it. It is an IPA, and as you probably know, that's not necessarily my favourite style, but all of the ones from Nirvana have kind of surprised me so far. Looks pretty good in the glass. Definitely a very dark, kind of golden amber IPA with possibly surprisingly good head development. It looks like it's sticking around as well. There's a little bit left in there. Yeah. Nice carbonation as well. Lots of bubbles in the glass, but doesn't over carbonated. A nice kind of golden syrup kind of colour. Let's have a little sniff. There's nothing too much citrus about it. Certainly no grapefruit. Cheers, let's try. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Doesn't feel like there's massive on the hops to be an IPA. We often have this discussion at the brewery whether we call it an IPA or just a pale ale. When it comes up at like 4%, IPA should be around about 5 or something like that, 5.5. But being a 0% one, it's kind of difficult. But there's no big hop note to it, which is not a problem for me. It's kind of more about the malty kind of sort of slightly bready kind of malty note with a little bit of kind of crispy citrus in it. Oh, even more interesting, this West Coast inspired IPA, probably my second least favourite style of IPA, or maybe third, has a punchy resinous hop quality. Fortunately not. Layered with a smooth base with notes of biscuit and caramel from the Vienna and Munich malts. Nice, I like that. Heavy dry hop of Mosaic, Nectron, and Simcoe give assertive notes of pine, stone fruits, and grapefruit, leading to a zesty and moorish finish. Well, fabulous that they put all that information on there. But for me, it doesn't necessarily come across like that. However, I'm not that bothered because that nice biscuity kind of malty base definitely carries it through. There's a really nice sweetness there, and it is again, it's kind of a theme for several of these beers. It's become kind of a honey kind of sweetness. It's pretty smooth. There's no spikiness. There is some gentle hop notes there. They're a little bit pine on the back end there now, coming through a bit later. Again, it is quite light, which you would expect as an IPA, but there's still a certain bulk of body there. Those kind of biscuity malts coming through pretty well, gives it a good, solid enough body. And once again, the theme running through this is none of that watery back end business that a lot of 0% beers, or the few that I've tried, have had in some part or other. But as IPAs go, it's kind of, for me, it's got more of a kind of British IPA thing about it rather than a West Coast, because there's not too much particularly spiky hop note about it. Therefore, it's one that I can drink. And I wouldn't be too disappointed with that. It's certainly, I think all of these beers, if I wasn't drinking for whatever on a night out, possibly wouldn't bother so much at home. But if I was on a night out on those, especially if they was on the tap on a pint, I could quite happily drink. I also find with some of the 0% beers that I will just shandy them anyway, because it then gives it that extra flavour and that extra kind of note. Don't really need that with this one. I think with these beers, rather, I think with this one, I would be tempted with a top up of lemonade. So you've got a kind of light bitter shandy. Certainly, if I was having a pint of it. But on the whole, I've been really, really impressed with these beers from Nirvana, and I am surprised to say that because I'm not a massive fan of 0% beers. I don't drink them that much, and the few I've had have been all right, but not amazing. These, excuse me, see the carbonation there. These ones, and also the one I didn't feature was the Pilsner lager. That was really good as well. Definitely really well recreating a Pilsner lager. So yeah, I've been generally really impressed with Nirvana. If you see them about, I'd say they're worth a go. I think they're kind of up there with all the various 0% beers. A lot of breweries doing 0% beers because they sort of kind of have to, really. And again, that's what we were saying in the video there, that we were looking to put one on the bar. And I did say that if we don't do our own one, I would be very impressed with pretty much any of these on the bar as a 0% offering for those driving or not drinking, whatever your tastes are. And I think any of these would sit fairly well on a bar as a 0% offering. So yeah, with that, hope you enjoyed this little look, kind of elongated look at 0% beers from Nirvana. And all that remains for me to say is back over to Past Disco for the outro, because I think he did it pretty well. Oh, and also massive thanks to Mike Siddell, my boss up at Perivale Brewery, for acquiescing or helping me rather to look at 0% beers. As I said, bit of research. But yeah, massive thanks to him. Back over. Take it away past Disco. Cheers and enjoy the beers. It's been Disco. That's just Disco Beer Review. It's been Mike, Perivale Brewery.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us. As always, please click like and subscribe. There's buttons down there specifically for that. And until the next time, cheers and enjoy the beers.
Cheers. Still want to kind of just neck them.